Hi, I'm Ed Young. I'm in the class of 1958, and I graduated from West Aurora High School and came to Aurora College at that time. In 1950, I think of Dr. Pat. I think of Stan Perry, who was in the English department. Outstanding teachers, and enjoyed all of them. Coach Gilkey. I had him as a football coach and as an English teacher, and he really inspired me, particularly of his voice. Having attended a number of meetings where he presented the invocation or the devotions at a Christian breakfast, he inspired me greatly, and he was a fine football coach as well as a basketball coach. A special memory would be of Mrs. Sinden, who was an outstanding teacher in the English department, and that would be in 1954. She would take the time with an average student like I was at that particular time and say, Ed, if you've got any problems, you come up to my office and we'll sit down and we'll deal with them. And she did. I was also impressed with Mr. Crimmy, or Dr. Crimmy. And of course, he passed away early in his life, and I thought he was an outstanding person in his presentations of the college at that time. And now, as we know, the university, and I was impressed with him also. So Dr. Crimmy and Dr. Sherrick, I've seen a lot of growth and read a lot about it and have supported it, which I certainly want to do as an alumni. Even though I was a little shy in public speaking, I really have branched out and done a lot of things, either as a volunteer in some cases and being paid in other ways, of doing programs for children and as well as adults in devotional time that I do. And so yes, Aurora College, or university, really put together a program that was very, very helpful. Expanding as I'm seeing it now, and the kind of programs in this technological age is kind of somewhat beyond me, being a senior citizen. And, but I would see acquiring more property, perhaps offering courses that maybe we don't even know about yet in the technological field. And so I see growth still coming, and I think under the leadership that we see here and that I read about, that's going to happen. Oh, with friends, of course, living at Spartan Terrace. What a time that was. I can name the people that lived in our little section. The Jeskis, the Melkins, the Johnsons, the Kilgores, the Sims, and the Youngs. We all got together and had picnics occasionally when the weather was such. We babysat one another's children. We had a sad time that we had to experience at the loss of Mr. and Mrs. Kilgore's 9-year-old daughter when she drowned. We had times when we watched movies together. We'd go over to the Melkins' house. Me having to sit up at night and watch the furnace with fuel oil burn, and I'm hear it crackling and think the place is going to burn down. I understand when they eventually took down Spartan Terrace that they had to bulldoze it down, that it didn't fire down. And I think just those memories of, as some people said, Spartan Terrace could have been called Fertile Valley. And the reason why, because a lot of families had children. We had one child when we moved there, and 4 years later we moved out, we had 4. We got married in 1951. In fact, this Sunday will be our 62nd wedding anniversary, and have 6 children. We have 13 grandchildren, And pardon me, we have 15 grandchildren, and we have 13 great-grandchildren. I think one of the things I remember somewhat was in 1951, as a freshman at Aurora College, I had to substitute for Wendell Fox, a well-known person that went through this school. His dad was very sick, and I needed to come in and step in for him on the basketball team. I think one of the things that I remember is a good friend of mine and mentor, Bob Gimmer, saying, "Ed, in the game that you played against Wisconsin Extension, you scored 26 points. That may be a record for an away game at Aurora College." Now, I'm going back many years. What great experiences here at the college. I shall never forget them. And meeting the people, having outstanding staff, all that really meant a lot to me. School was not necessarily easy for me. But after serving in the military service, and I think through the discipline and the regimentation that you have, that really helped. And so I said, I'm going back to school. So in 1954, I re-entered, and 4 years later, graduated. And from what I got from the professors here, teachers, really helped in my dealing with children at that point for the 37 years that I taught. I'm very, very proud of Aurora University and of the staff and the people I meet.